morning, YouTube. Happy Monday. Well, I see I'm all over the news. Actually, I'm not all over the news because, frankly, Larry Nelson, you got 300 people watching your videos, so I could easily choose to ignore you. But I said, well, why not? Why not address this dude? But Larry Nelson, if you want to come back and be angry with me because I opened a discussion about you and your obsession with homosexuality, then I think you should at least be honest. All right? So Larry Nelson, he made a rebuttal. He made a video about me, calling me various bad words, bad things, commenting on my grill, petty things. But I said, well, I did use his name in one of my titles, so I guess he has a right to do that. But be honest, Larry Nelson. You come on here giving this whole dialogue about how I had attacked you or came after you because of your opinions about this Dwayne Wade's situation with his child. That is a damn lie. It's got nothing to do with the truth. In the whole video that I made, which is an hour, it's not all centered around you. Actually, I talked about your precious Bible, almost the whole thing. But I didn't say nothing about your opinions on the situation with Dwayne Wade. I didn't even bring it up. I didn't even see the video you're talking about. You're talking about something with Wilson. That's not what I was talking about. I came and confronted you about a conversation I overheard on Tracy's channel. See, people have to realize something. When you go on the internet or YouTube, you're in the chats, you're making comments, you're doing call-ins for 20 minutes or so. How do you think no one is ever going to have anything to say about what you say? You brought up a subject. It had nothing to do with the situation of their child. The subject was your obsession with homosexuality and believing that a person has to be careful when they say they're a minister of Jesus Christ and they got a boyfriend and they got gay. It all came back to the same subject, but you make no mention of that. But that is what the conversation was about. This is what I was checking you about, or at least discussing you about, is this idea that a person can't be a Christian and be a homosexual. A person can't be gay and be in ministry. A person can't be gay and certainly not be a pastor, although my pastor is very gay. But you said that they can't do that based on your understanding of these ancient texts, right? That's what I talked about. I went on and on and on and talking about my views on, because we have it wrong. There's no denying we have it wrong because God's world, he already invented the world perfectly, right? So if we're always in contrast and dispute about what goes on in nature, then we are the one that's wrong, right? Because God made it right. Anyway, let me see what I put on here. All right. So I didn't address, it had nothing to do with that child. It had all to do with your views that you expressed on Tracy's channel about homosexual people, homosexuality. It's the same discussion we've had. Now, Larry Nelson, I'm surprised that you would come on so hard. I can understand you coming back. Frankly, I would have been more understanding if you made reference to me talking about the style of clothing you choose to wear. Because that was just an attack. That was just inappropriate. And that's something I kind of felt bad about. I said, well, if it came that way, I probably would have just took the damn video down. Because that was me attacking him. People they can wear whatever the hell they want to wear. I don't know what the fuck they wear in St. Louis. But no, you want to go on this thing trying to divert and act like it was you. I was attacking you because of your opinions on this situation with this child, and everybody had an opinion on it. It's not true. If you're going to try to reach people, tell the truth. All right. All right. You said several different things. Then you said I was slick shading you. I was slick shading you by saying, well, he says he's a heterosexual. You left out the part where I said, and I believe him. You are a unique person on my YouTube experience, Larry Nelson, because initially I came on here accusing you of being a homosexual. That was because of the situation with Andrew Caldwell and other homosexual people. You seem to be preoccupied with this subject to me. And so I said, well, this is probably a closeted homosexual. So I made that video, right? Now, I'll admit, and I have admitted on here many, many times, I should not have jumped to that conclusion automatically because you're preoccupied with the subject. So you know what I did? For you, Larry Nelson, I went and took down all the accusatory videos I had made of you. Any mention of the subject, I took them down for you because you convinced me that you were indeed heterosexual. So I said, okay, if you are indeed heterosexual, and I believe you, you start throwing up pictures and paintings and whatever, all your evidence, I said, okay. Even if I do feel like he has an unnatural obsession with homosexuality, that doesn't mean that he's a homosexual. So I apologize for that, took it down. I saw you in argument, getting in arguments with that asshole, which apparently you take offense at me or even having beefs with him. This is called the beef sector, right? So if I don't beef with nobody, I'm not in the beef sector. So you want to remove me is what you're saying. Correct? Let's talk about a couple other things. You say that I don't talk about FYEBABE all the time. That's a lie. But I talk about Jay Wilson all the time. I talk about Jay Wilson because of how hard he comes at me in his videos. I'm only responding to him. So if it's been a week and he hasn't said anything about me, that doesn't excuse all the other times, all the things he said about me, about my home, about my dog, about my lips, my teeth, my hair, my age, my income, everything. All the things he said about me, that don't go away because you didn't make a video in 3 days. So if you do something that I consider fucked up, I'm going to talk about it. That's what you do when you go out of your way to make enemies and when you disrespect people. I don't personally believe that's any of your business. Weren't you beefing with Jay Wilson? Do you have a right to argue with him if you have a disagreement with him? You say I talk about him every day? Who is the other person talking every day? He talks about me every day. Always deeper and deeper cuts. Deeper and deeper cuts. So why does he think that he can cut higher than I can? So it just gets out of hand. But it is what it is. I'm not backing down off that bitch. What else did he say? He says, I criticized Jay Wilson for the last couple of years since the invention of the live videos. I criticized him for making hour-long videos. Another lie. Him making an hour-long video was not my problem. Him making 5 and 6 and 7 videos in one day, that's what I took issue to. And then not 1 hour videos, most of these videos 2 to 3 hours. So it's almost impossible to have 3, 4, 5, and 6 videos in one day, all of them expanding well over an hour, 2 or 3 hours. I made mention of that. Why wouldn't I? I'm in battle with this dude. Why wouldn't I mention that? Ain't nobody saying nothing wrong with Cash App, but when you start going into these Cash App parties and you start going for 9 and 10 hours a day, you're live online, and then you start just flagrantly just begging straight out, and then anytime somebody mentions anything to you, you always say, "Oh, I'm not begging," like it never happened. Yeah, I made mention of that. Why wouldn't I? Hold on a minute. I got the stripes coming down on my face. And I look gorgeous for my people. Watch me. Did the stripes go? Okay. Where were we at with Larry Nelson? Larry Nelson, you know I could easily ignore you. Now, it seems like you're ready to get into another battle. And I'm just trying to remind you that the reason why you were able to survive that other battle relatively unscathed is because I took all the videos down and I decided that I wouldn't argue with you because I had made the original sin was assuming that you were a homosexual because you talked about homosexuality so much. Right? So be careful what you do, my brother. I don't think your arms is quite long enough to be boxing with me. Like you say, I'm on Jay Wilson. You can't even take terror. I'm making 1-minute videos on you. Now, how are you going to deal with if I get after you like I get after Jay Wilson? How would you even deal with something like that? Would you just smash your head in the wall? We're secure here. I don't have no fear of nobody running up in here, honey. Do it at your own peril. All right. But I will admit one thing. I could have done my video, was it yesterday? I could have done it without using your name. But I also want to acknowledge that you are glad that I did use your name. See, because that's the only thing that makes you relevant, Larry Nelson. You think I'm so blind I can't see that? Come on, make another video about me. Come on, make it. You don't want nobody to make your video about you. You don't want nobody to use your name, and yet you do want somebody to use your name, and you do want them to talk about you. You know, it's a yin-yang kind of situation. Because you become relevant when you're arguing with somebody. That's why they call this the beef sector. They just want their names heard. Wilson, you know something? Let me tell you something, child. Let me try to educate you a little bit. I have people coming up to me on the street, in the supermarket, asking me about, what about that Jay Wilson? They know all about Jay Wilson. People online, people who follow me, they know all about Jay Wilson, right? Do you really think that if I weren't talking about Jay Wilson, any of those people would have any knowledge at all of who Jay Wilson even is? The numbers that he has that he hides still are only because I've made his name relevant. So don't cry for him, Argentina, Larry Nelson. Wait a minute, do it again. Don't cry for him, Larry Nelson. The truth is, he really needs me, although his wants, although he resists me. Child, that boy comes back at me because the beef keeps him alive. Jay Wilson has no content. His only content is if we respond to him. Got it? So don't be thinking it's so horrible that I mentioned Jay Wilson, made a video about Jay Wilson. Why is he coming so hard back at me? Think about it. All right. Where else at? I slick shade you about you being straight. I'm repeating myself now. I didn't slick shade you. I said you said you're not gay, and I believe you. That's what I said. I said that in an extensive video I made about as I was taking the other videos down. I said I'm convinced that he's telling the truth, and I took my videos down just for you, out of respect. Okay, we're not even going to address this denture shit. Baby, I'm 61 years old. Look at me. We all know what kind of life I lived. Look at me. Look fabulous. I'm not worrying about you or no other bitch. I didn't say you was a bitch. I haven't gone there. But I'm saying be careful who you play with. Don't just get into beef for clicks and views if you're not really to play the game. I'm talking about that other bitch. I'm 61 years old. Larry Nelson, what have I got on you? 20 years? So I'm really your father's age. Now just call your dad up. I know your dad's not around, whatever. But if you could call him up, or call your parents up, call your aunts and aunties, call them up. Hey, do any of you guys got any work money in your mouth? Just ask them. Start getting work at about 40, buddy. So that doesn't impress me. Wait till your time comes. If you're fortunate, you'll live to be 61. And then we'll look in your mouth. Get all up in the back of your mouth. Don't follow Wilson. He's going to lead you down a dark path. He's a ridiculous person. And for you to be quoting him to read me is just absolutely ridiculous. And I got to tell you now, I'm not reading you. I'm just correcting something you said. Now, I will apologize. I'm not apologizing for shit. You called into Tracy's phone line. You talk all this homophobia bullshit like you always do. And I commented on it. So, no, I'm not sorry I used your name there. You just got to accept that. I was wrong for commenting about that clothing you wear. I find it rather ridiculous, but it's not my place to decide what you wear. So that I can accept as unacceptable. But this other shit, no, this is your public views. You seem to want people to know this, that you have a problem with this. Every time you mention anything about gay, I don't agree with the girl lifestyle. I don't agree with the. Why do we have to know that? We don't care. I certainly don't care, honey. All right, let me not get stuck. Okay. The difference between, okay, so you people are all in a tizzy now. You're all in a tizzy because now Timothy Blaine goes live. I never said I would never go live. I said I haven't go live. I have had for the last 2 years, I think that thing's been around about 2 years, people asking me, why won't you go live? Why won't you go live? Why won't you go live? And my answer has always been, no, I'm not that interested at that point. But I am a grown-ass man. If I decide that I want to do something different, that is totally on me. It's just like when you play video games. You play the same game for so long, and people say, this is my game. I like the game just like it is. I don't want to upgrade to shit. I like my game, right? But that video game player at some point might say, you know what? I am bored, and I want to play another game. They don't got to consult you. They don't got to do shit for you. You feel like you're supposed to be going on there just making all the money you want. And then if he comes on, oh, what you doing going live? Like you own live. You don't own it. I can do whatever I want to do. But no, I'm not going to be, I can tell you that right now. I'm not going to be making no 3 and 4 and 5 hour videos back to back every single day. I'm not going to go on here and begging for people's money. It's not going to happen because it's not in my character. But don't think you're going to lock me down now. That punk don't want nobody else to go live. They don't want anybody else to get a piece of the pot like it belongs to him. Am I through with you yet? So when I decide I want to do that, that's what I'll do. If I decide I want to do something else, that's what I'll do. I'll just do it because that's what I have a right to do. Nobody is in charge of YouTube, honey. We do whatever we want to do. My feeling, if I were giving advice to Larry Nelson, I wouldn't say go live. I don't believe it. I don't think you should go live with 1,000 subscribers. I don't think you should go live with 2,000 subscribers. That was the issue. The numbers had to get up. I said around 20,000, I'd probably go live because you have to have an audience or it makes no sense. It's embarrassing. So I got to 18,000. That's around 20,000 area. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. I like to do it. I did it once. I liked it. If I did it once, I didn't like it. I just don't do it. It's my decision. It's got nothing to do with you. It certainly has nothing to do with that pathetic asshole. I think I'm through with you, Larry Nelson. So my thought, if I were you, I would say, let this go. You don't want me to really dig into you. You can't handle it, Larry Nelson. You cannot handle it. You cannot handle people making hour-long videos just focusing on you. You cannot handle what goes on between me and that Wilson boy. You can't do that because every little slight, you're talking about slights that happened to you 3 years ago. You are still talking about the thing that happened with your daughter, with VS. Every time you have a video, you have to talk about the exact same thing. This Bonnie Von person. You can't handle it. You hold on to it too tightly. So I would suggest to you, no, don't get involved like that. You got things you want to do in the outside world? Do them. Do Larry. Do what you want to do. Don't be trying to follow behind these other people when you don't fit. Wilson, you could say anything about him, all the way into his dead family members. It would not faze him. He doesn't care. You do. That's enough of Larry Nelson. So then, both of these people, Miss FYEBABE, now she's over there. Now why, if she got her feet in this, I don't know. Why do these people keep thinking that no one's going to tell you when somebody else is in another chat talking shit about you, talking heavy, big time bullshit about you? I don't have to watch that person. Somebody tell me she's over there tearing you up. There are thousands of people on here. So I always know when she's all up in my asshole. Let's talk about Miss FYEBABE. Since she's so chomping at the bit to get up in my business. She asked me at one point, to unsubscribe to her after our first little skirmish. It wasn't even a blip on the screen. So I did. I unsubscribed from her. I assume she unsubscribed from me, but she's still there. If you go to your home page, you still show up, right? People got to see what the hell's going on here, or no, you can't just sit down and start making videos if you don't know what the fuck's going on YouTube. People told me what she was doing over there. So she says, y'all got one pitiful army. Okay, we'll start with this. Yes, she hit below the belt today. She hit below the belt because she suggested that I wanted to, I can't even say the word, do something sexual with Jay Wilson. Woman, have you lost your entire goddamn mind? Miss Thing, I would rather pick up a homeless person under a box anonymously and crawl up under there with him than I would sooner than touch Jay Wilson in any sexual way. I don't think I could even stand in the same room with him without attacking his neck. Where in the fuck you think there's some kind of sexual tension between me and that boy? There's nothing there, girl. Nothing there. Go back and watch some more gay movies. All right. So that was way below the belt there, honey. The thought makes me want to throw up. That's what that bitch don't like. She'll say, oh, you like white men. Oh, you don't like no brother. Did you have a black boyfriend? How many black boyfriends? No, bitch, I just don't like your punk ass. I don't want you. I had no interest in you. She already thinks she's gonna shame somebody because they don't want her ass. Yes, there are people that you just turn off. To my way of thinking, probably most people who encounter you and him and talk to him for a few minutes, they're all turned off. So this boy, Mark, is a treasure unto him because no one else would never, especially not publicly, acknowledge that crazy ass, self-obsessed, demented boy. They said, both of them say, they talk off each other for the moment until they fall out. We've been close now for the last 2 weeks. What's going to happen, people? It's going to happen. You're both too obsessed with numbers and money for it not to happen. Accept it. Entertain us. FYEBABE talking about, oh, I'm talking about Jay Wilson. Why are you talking about Jay Wilson now? You say videos. Okay, let's say I have one enemy on YouTube. If I have one, how many do you have, FYEBABE? How many people have you beef with, FYEBABE? How many people do you currently have beef with? How many women have you not cussed out and spoken under their dress? How many women are consider themselves your enemies? How is it that you can talk about everybody? You can even name your show. Basically, I'm going to talk about everybody show. That's it. This is the I'm going to talk about everybody on YouTube show. I'm going to make more enemies. I'm going to say whatever I want to say about them. And you have the nerve to be offended because I have beef with one motherfucking person? One person. Anything else I've ever done has been a week, 2 weeks, something like that. Let's get back into this Miss FYEBABE. Miss Smart FYEBABE that knows everything. I'll tell you something you don't know. When you played that video on your phone, onto this, I guess you call it news, this bullshit thing you just did, talking about me like I'm a fucking animal, and you played the video, you held it up there. You stole my intellectual property. You stole it. I could have your page shut down for 3 months. All because of what? Not because I flagged your channel. A lot of people flag. I'm sure you've got all kind of flags. That's why you're always trying to get them numbers up, because of all the flags. But when you take someone else's image and their voice and you put it online on your page for you to profit from, that is illegal on YouTube. They don't stop it. It takes the person who you have stolen from. So be aware of that, woman, since you feel like you just open rain on me. I'm a crazy old man or some shit like that. I'm a crazy old man, but if somebody saw me or you on the street, they would assume that you were my woman, right? They certainly would not assume that I was your father. So either I look younger than my age, or you look a whole lot older, honey, because we look like the same age. Don't use other people's intellectual property. I could shut you down just like that, but I'm not a dirty bitch like that. I am not a dirty bitch like that. You don't believe me? Go and check the thing they sent out. Rules and regulations. And how you can have someone's video removed and them punished. Don't play with me, woman. I'm telling you. You people, you come back so hard, and it's so easy for you to just disrespect me. See, I always start off slow. I try not to disrespect you. And you, frankly, FYEBABE, I've always avoided. We didn't even skirmish until last month. But of course, now, since you feel like you can, you will. Don't use my intellectual property. You have been warned. Next thing, on the lady FYEBABE. FYEBABE, did you have the nerve to say that every story that I tell has got to do something with the streets? You're making references to when I use the example of when they say, oh, he's a doctor, then all of a sudden they want to dox you. I'm speaking out of my own personal experience. If my own personal experience offends you, my suggestion is you click off. But you have got a lot of goddamn nerve. You sitting here talking about, I'm talking about crime life. It's always got to be about criminals, about crime. Could you take a moment and think about your own home, your household, your family? Don't you have people in your family doing life in prison? Didn't Butter even come on here and say that he was a gangbanger? Didn't all of these people, all the men in your family been in prison? Aren't you from a family of criminals? What in the fuck are they going to tell you about college life? What would they tell you about? What examples would they use? What examples would be in their arsenal? Don't drop the soap. I'm just saying, you need to let that one go, Chicago lady. You need to let that one go. Even that fortune you came into or you swindled this man out of. Wasn't that really a prison story? I mean, the whole story. You say, oh, this millionaire. You say, oh, I was good. I got with this millionaire. For how many weeks was he a millionaire? It's really a story about prison, right? A person wrongfully accused and getting out of prison after a long period of time. But it's still a prison story. Aren't the stories, when you get off YouTube, aren't most of the stories, aren't they based on, how many live in that building where you live? Do we hear people's heads being slammed in walls through your apartment? Women being beat up and just running through. You keep on making videos. I'm just saying, baby. I don't think that's the road you need to be going down. I don't want to go no further with this. Fuck this. Okay, I'm through with this. I'm through with this. I'm telling you, woman, don't use my intellectual property. I'm giving you a pass because I could easily shut you down for 3 months. You, like that other one, you have come to depend on this thing for your income, your only income. Don't play with me.